this is Tommy and welcome to another musical adventure. Today's adventure is really just some more recent finds, a little rant about Record Store Day, Drop 2. I've only got a couple of things to show you in this video, so there's probably going to be more ranting and less showing. Hopefully I can do a little bit of both without going extra long. But I'm going to talk about the recent Record Store Day Drop 2 that happened last weekend and give a little insight. I'm going to show you a couple of recent finds, which is, like I said, only a couple of things. But this is the first one I wanted to show you guys. This is Fleetwood Mac Live. This was recently reissued. This is from their 1980 tour. This was recorded on that tour, the Tusk Tour. It was this particular pressing is a Barnes & Noble exclusive. They had a special vinyl weekend last weekend to sort of, I guess, counter Record Store Day. Inside, it's a double record set. It's got all the tour dates inside. This Barnes & Noble exclusive pressed on red vinyl. Just on a side note, that Warner Records label, I'm not a big fan of it. What do you think? Of course, I know that should be indifferent. Now, this is readily available. It's not only available at Barnes & Noble. It's available anywhere. You can order one from Amazon. It's not on the red vinyl like this, but it's a gatefold. I really think that this particular album is and there's the set list or the album track list. I think that this album is really sort of an unsung hero in the Fleetwood Mac catalog. Now, I don't want to get into the whole thing, the Peter Green version of the band, all that good stuff. I like the Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks version of Fleetwood Mac. I think those records are classic. I personally love those records. This album is a great sort of summation of those years. Interestingly enough, it's got a lot of stuff from Rumors, obviously. I really like the version of Landslide that's on this album. It's a little bit different. That's a song that I've heard a lot and a lot and a lot. And I like Landslide. It's been played a whole lot recently. But it's also got a studio recording of The Farmer's Daughter, the Beach Boys song, which is kind of interesting because Lindsey was going through a bit of a Brian fixation at that point. But stuff like Dreams, Landslide, Go Your Own Way, Don't Stop, those big hits. Funny enough, Monday Morning, some of the stuff from that self-titled Fleetwood Mac, Sarah, Over and Over. So it's got some stuff from the Tusk album, but not the song Tusk, which is kind of an interesting thing. A really neat version of Oh Well. Like I said, the Peter Green fans are probably going to roast me for this, but Lindsey Buckingham doing Oh Well, which is pretty cool. But anyway, Fleetwood Mac Live, I think it's a great set. Now, another thing about this particular pressing that I enjoy is that this was cut by Chris Bellman, with the great mastering engineer. So this sort of kind of sold me on getting this and wanting to have it in my collection. And I had not really heard this album before I got it, so I was really surprised and enjoyed it quite a bit as far as live albums from that period go. Now, we're going to move on to the Record Store Day stuff, and I want to talk a little bit about the Monkees. The Monkees, Missing Links, all three volumes, volumes 1, 2, and 3 were released on Record Store Day this past week. I did not buy any of them, 0 of them. And I know some of you did, and that's fine. I'm not here to criticize that. This is an original vinyl pressing from Rhino Records that I have on Missing Links. It's the only one that came out on vinyl when it was originally pressed back in the late 80s. A great collection, and I have this on CD, and I know that there's some tracks on the CD version that aren't on the album. I do have the other volumes on CD. Volume 2, which I think came out around 1990. Again, never pressed on vinyl. And Volume 3, and mine's got a little crack in the cover. Volume 3 came out in the mid-90s. This is a fantastic volume. Both of these are really, really great. What it is a collection for non-Monkees fans, just really quickly. It's a collection of outtakes, alternate versions, and all of that. Well, all 3 volumes were released this past Saturday on Record Store Day, Drop 2. They were all, I think, at a price point between $33 and $35, depending on your store, some a little higher. And I know a lot of you bought it, and I mean, there was a little bit of the completist in me, just because I did not have the other ones on vinyl, that really, really wanted them. But this is where my sort of rant comes in, is I have heard nothing but really negative things about Joe Ragoso and Friday Music. I have seen his vinyl pressing of Justice out in the wild a few times, and I've not bought it. And I do like the Justice album, which, I mean, you can roast me for that. But I'm a Nesmith fan, those of you who follow the channel and know, and Nesmith was a big part of that album. But all that aside, the cover looks like it was done down at Kinko's. They just blew up the CD jacket and just put it on an album cover. It looks really cheap, and it just didn't look good to me. Researching online, I've not heard good things about the pressing. Joe Ragoso is not a mastering engineer, you know, and so everything that I see, it always has his name attached to it. And it says, Joe, mastered for audiophile vinyl. This was the tag on the new Monkees issues. Mastered for audiophile vinyl for the first time by longtime Monkees friend and collaborator, Joe Ragoso. Now, I've followed the Monkees for a long time. His name never shows up. I don't know if he's a longtime friend or collaborator. All I know is that Friday Music licensed this from Rhino and basically made a copy of the CD, pressed it on vinyl. Another complaint for the price point, for $34 or whatever, let's just say $34, everything was crammed onto one LP, a cheap press, and the jackets were just single jackets. Now, I heard they were kind of throwbacks to the Cold Gym stuff, which is kind of cool, but for that much money, there are no liner notes, no information on the tags, and there's a particular name that's not attached to Friday Music that gives me suspect or reason to doubt, and that's Andrew Sandoval. Longtime Monkees people know Andrew Sandoval has been highly involved with the Monkees projects, particularly with Rhino Records, since day one, back in the 80s. His name has been attached to just about everything legitimate that's come out of the Monkees camp. I read an article just before I started recording this video about how it's a shame that both Andrew Sandoval and Bill Inglo, however you pronounce his name, I apologize, Bill, if you're watching this, were not given any proper credit, even though they're the ones that compiled these things originally. Their names are all over the credits to the CDs, nowhere to be found on the records. And I get it. Look, if it's just about having the music on vinyl, sure. I've heard the pressings are okay, that they sound okay, but you can tell they're digitally sourced. To me, for that much money, to spend $100, $105, $110, I'm just not giving my money to Friday Music. It's a personal choice. Not going to happen. And I'm not here to really blast anybody, even though it sounds like it is. But I just have very serious doubts about anything that Joe Ragoso and Friday Music has put out. Now, I heard early on he used Kevin Gray for some cuts, and those are good. He used RTI, but from what I understand, shoddy pressings, shoddy sounding. But that leads me to another recent pickup that I do want to talk about, and that is the Monkees' self-titled album on Run Out Groove. Now, they announced this week, and you can go to Run Out Groove and buy the second Monkees album, More of the Monkees. It's going to be a similar thing. It's a 2-record set. I pre-ordered mine back last fall. It's on yellow vinyl. It's got the Rhino logo on it. And this was cut by Kevin Gray, a legitimate mastering engineer. It has a nice booklet inside with all the information you could possibly want. Just a really, really well done set. I'm going to show you the hype sticker there. And I'm going to take it out here and show you. Nice, hard jacket. Mine is individually numbered. I think they only did 1,000 of these. My only complaint about this, and as you may can see, they've used some really, really bad packaging when they shipped it. It's got some seam splits. It's dinged up in the corner. You can see right there on the corner. It really is disappointing. I've sent a letter to Run Out Groove or an email talking about it. And I said it's really a shame that for all the great work that you've done to make such a nice package, it really is a shame that that it got messed up in the shipping process. Andrew Sandoval was involved with this, and I'll go ahead and say this is the best sounding version of this album that I've heard. It blows away every other pressing, and I've got an original mono. I've heard an original stereo. I have the Rhino pressings from the 80s. I don't have the Sundays. I certainly don't have the Friday music, but this Run Out Groove is just fabulous. And I don't know if you can see, but the track listing, sides 3 and 4, the second record is, and there's the credits for you, is a lot of outtakes and alternate versions, a lot of the TV versions. Some of the stuff that's on Missing Links, but I can almost guarantee you that it sounds better than the Friday music pressing. Finally, the last thing I want to show you guys is the one thing that I talked myself into getting for Record Store Day Drop 2. I was on the fence about it, and I ordered it online and was able to get one. And I'm going to unbox it for you guys. This is the Small Faces Complete Greatest Hits on the Immediate Charlie label. And like I said, I was kind of on the fence about this one and ended up talking myself into it. And from what I understand, these are mono. It's a mono set, and just absolutely just beautiful. And so we're going to unbox it for you guys, even though some of you probably have it. But I just got it in the mail, and I'm going to show it to you guys for those of you who haven't seen it. It has inside enclosed a hand-signed postcard from Kenny Jones, the only surviving member of the Faces now. The Faces were Ronnie Lane, Steve Marriott, and Ian McClagan, and Kenny Jones. Kenny Jones also went on to be the drummer for The Who after Keith Moon died. And on the back there's a little bio. But that's pretty cool. A little hand-signed card. The vinyl, which is really cool, for those of you who haven't seen it, is a red, white, and blue splatter. There's a great Immediate label on the front side, or on the side too. The white Immediate label. And it does say mono on it, and then side 2. Really, really cool. I was really kind of like I said, on the fence about it, but I love the Small Faces. And so it kind of became, and I think that's all that's in there. Let me just do a double check. That's true. Love the Small Faces, so was really glad to pick this up. And there's the hype sticker too. I don't know if I showed it. But that was my one and only pickup for Record Store Day, Volume 2. I ordered that from T-Bones Records down in Hattiesburg. I did a video on T-Bones a while back, so you can go back and watch that video. T-Bones Records, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Really cool store. Go show them some love and tell them that I sent you. So, that's all. Just a quick pickup, a quick rant. What do you think down below? Tell me how crazy I am for loving Lindsey Buckingham era Fleetwood Mac. How crazy I am for missing out on the Friday music releases of the Monkees. You know, or just how crazy I am in general. It's your time to say that. Down in the comments, I try to respond to each comment down below. Thanks for subscribing and watching. As always, I appreciate all the support the channel gets, and humbled and surprised by it. And I want to thank each of you for taking time to watch my videos. And so, as I say every video, and I'm going to say it again today, we'll see you next video, and save the Texas Prairie Chicken.